The legend Sun Tzu once said, "In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity." In this video, I will show you how chaos still brings opportunities within Age of Empires 2 at a time where everything is very meta-oriented. Guys, happy to be back with another little breakdown here. It has been 4 months since I first started this idea, if I'm not mistaken. You'll see my other 2 uploads in the playlist below, and basically, this video is designed to just take a deeper dive into an Age of Empires 2 game, approach it a little bit differently, and show you some cool stuff that maybe we would miss otherwise. In the blue, we have MBL, who's playing as the Berbers, and we're going to speed up here to start off the early stages. And then here in the red, we've got Flo, a top 100 player, just at that 100 mark at the time of recording this. A player who, there's some other things we could say, but not really relevant to this video. Now, normally, when you're playing a game, especially when you're playing against a high-level player, you're thinking about Civ bonuses, and you're thinking about what your Civ can do against it. And he's probably thinking, is it going to be men-at-arms? Is it going to be scouts? Is it going to be X? Is it going to be Y? Is it going to be Z? And, well, we're not going to see those cheap, stable units from the Berbers. MBL is going to go forward because Berbers have faster villagers. Now, this is not a unique strategy, okay? This is a strategy, I mean, okay, I take that back. It is unique. It doesn't happen all the time, but it has been something that some players do. Some players are annoying with Vil fighting, but normally you're thinking about the other bonuses for Berbers. But MBL going forward blindly, and he's just like, you know what? I'm going to make things chaotic. I'm going to make this game into something that you normally never see. So here he comes with these villagers. He's currently searching, and all is fair in love, all is fair in war. MBL searching for his boars. He is known for that. When I say his boars are actually at home. He's going to bring in his first boar for food. And he's searching to see if he can do anything to the enemy right now. Now, from Red's point of view, Red did not actually see any of this. I double-checked this a few times. Red did not see these villagers at all. You could see she's right behind here. And what Red's trying to do is come over here. I'm sure he remembers there was a boar. That's my assessment of it anyways. There's no real way to know that 100%, but no other reason to be taking gold at this time. And now, Red sees the situation. Okay, Red sees 2 villagers and says, all right, I can outnumber. Now, here's where it gets tricky, right? I want to talk about this because this is important. So many high-level players, including myself, just do not want to get Loom early. Because when you get Loom, yes, it gives your villagers armor, but when you're researching that, you can't create a Vil. So you can see in the stats here, MBL is currently behind by villagers. So players are not going to research Loom. But then instances like this, what did Red do immediately? Clicked Loom. There's still 15 game time seconds. So here's MBL. He realizes that. He says, I'm not going for the meta. And immediate chaos, villager down, and unfortunately, you're going to see another villager go down for Red as well. This is just not the type of game that Red was ever expecting. 5 minutes in, it's immediate in-your-face action. And now MBL is on the move. You've got this villager here. This villager is very weak. MBL trying to go for some quick walls. They are faster villagers, so you've got opportunities, but Red is just a couple hits away from killing this one. Now 1 hit away from killing this one. And MBL gets the walls down. And we are about to see the most chaotic frenzy ever. So you've got, like, this villager shooting the boar, and since MBL was the first one to shoot it, it will try and attack. At the same time, Red is trying to take out the palisade wall. So MBL, he just wants to kill this thing so it's not brought underneath the TC. Obviously, huge sacrifice. Meanwhile, MBL at home, and I'm actually going to go for a rewind here, okay? I need to show you this. So, like, this is all happening so fast, right? And so Red, in the moment, has to determine, oh no, I'm going to be out of food soon. I need that. I have to do something. And is over here and sees MBL's turkeys, so is going to bring the turkeys, and is going to go out to steal the boar. Now, check this out. This is all happening at the same time. MBL starts to bring in his boar. Check this out from Red. Red's like, okay, I'm going to block this villager. Now, what MBL just did, this is something you might not know about. He's got no food underneath his TC. Is he de-aggroed the boar. So I don't know if you've ever tried to, like, build a castle where there's a bunch of deer. It's probably the best example. But if you try and build a building over where an animal is located in this game, they will shift away from that. They will move. And they'll move away from that. So basically, you can abuse that. You can use that to immediately, like, tap a house right where the boar is. Believe me, it's not easy. And it will force that boar to stop attacking. He was worried there that the scout would block. and that the boar would be attacking his vill, and that he would lose it. And he's the master of that, right? Now, this boar will quickly, well, in a moment here, as MBL needs the food, it's going to be blocked a bunch of times, okay? So it's being blocked, and it de-aggroes from MBL for just a second. And Red actually gets 2 hits on it and starts to move. Now, if you didn't expect this to be chaotic, I apologize. MBL's repairing here. He made a forward barracks, which Red doesn't know about. Red's like, okay, I'm going to take the food. And watch this. This is an incredible play. And then throughout the chaos, Red has been adding farms, which is good. Did get pop capped. Forgot to make houses. We just talked about the de-aggro trick. So you can see the boar moving. MBL knows this. Scout is very weak. And MBL goes, boink! And now the boar will go back home. And so for Red to get another hit on that, to get enough hits on that for the boar to actually obey, Red will lose the scout because the boar has to get 2 hits. MBL's villager saves the day. Has been around the whole world as well, even killing a turkey there. And has made this a crazy, chaotic game, which has completely changed. Like, we never see forward barracks. We never see what we have seen in this game. And yet, the enemy perseveres. Flo has figured it out and is on the way to feudal age. Meanwhile, MBL doesn't have the food. He has made it chaotic, but he is going to have to wait until this boar gets brought in. So you look back at Red's point of view. Red, at this point, is just happy to recover, I'm sure. And this is a pretty solid feudal age time considering. Does know that MBL probably still has a villager around, but doesn't know where the villager went. Villager is actually over here making houses around the gold. So MBL brings in his boar, and he's now just able to use this barracks. Now, militia are not that strong against villagers if you only have like 2 or 3 of them, but if you can get 4, especially if you have your starting scout, which MBL does not, it can be very strong. Again, think of Red's mindset. Think of a normal mindset in an Age of Empires 2 game. What you want to have is you want to go to their base. Normally, you build up from home, and you go to their base. That is a normal approach. There are some instances of sneaky buildings, but even that is normally not a barracks. MBL, this whole time, could just see that these villagers are taking the food. And it's a smart decision from Red to take it, because you got to take it before it rots away. Red really needs that food. Not the time to be dealing with militia, that's for sure. Because, like, you're thinking about feudal age plans, whether that's eco upgrades or adding the stable. As Red's doing that, MBL attacking the villagers. Does get the villager, and that villager also had 30 food in his hands. Now Red, again, not the game he thought he was going to find here, even against MBL. Nice little quick walls, and this is good high-level work. This is really good work. As MBL, the Mr. Chaos himself, he is still stuck in the Dark Age. He does finish his boar, which brings him that 340 food, and is now thinking about going up. But MBL should be thinking, uh-oh, what is he going to do against me here? I should have some concerns that maybe some villagers could be lost. Now, again, Red's point of view, Red still is the scout. I think this is actually auto-scout at the moment. This is a weak scout, so you might as well, I guess. You must know that something's over here, but it has not been confirmed. It's right behind the wood line. Red is continuously trying to micro and push back these militia. Now, worst case scenario, I would say, is if these things survive and they get upgraded soon. You've got to think MBL's on the way to feudal age. So you could think about heading to MBL's base, but you can head to MBL's base if you're worried about this. It's very hard to ever attack the enemy when things are so chaotic at home. Great job from MBL, but also a great job from Red. I think he's used the villagers and the spearmen nicely, and he kills this. Now, any normal game, you kill 3 or 4 militia, and then it's then going to be archers. It's just going to be scouts afterwards, right? Wrong. MBL down here is making more militia. But what I love about this is not just the positioning. MBL even has another barracks. What I love about this is that it totally breaks your instincts as a player, right? It's like every time you're thinking, okay, Red's got to go to his base now. MBL's going to have nothing. Right when that happens, every single time that seems to happen, there's going to be something here. And, like, Red's going to be thinking, oh, you're freaking kidding me. Right? Like, we've got tons of farms. Students have very cheap farms. MBL is about to hit the feudal age. And Red, you know, it took him some time to get those scouts out. Doesn't have the numbers to really do anything at MBL's base. And now sees more militia coming out. I don't know if I've ever seen this many militia 15 minutes into an Age of Empires 2 game. Like, this is crazy. And Red, who doesn't know where the barracks is now going to see militia come from this way. So, this is just too much to deal with. Now, part of the problem here for our red player is the lack of gold. MBL kind of has buildings around this one. And red is just coming out to take this one. But there's still a very weak villager there. So it's like kind of awkward to know what to do for gold. You should probably, at the very least, make some range units here, like skirmishers. And even though skirmishers aren't that good against man-at-arms, I think what skirmishers can bring here is a bit more value if MBL starts to make spearmen. And we're going to see more in this game, more chaos, more things you don't normally see as MBL goes for a forward blacksmith. And Red is finally thinking, okay, he's got forward buildings. I say this a lot, guys. The weakness of forward buildings is that you won't have defense at home. And at this point, MBL's gone into 2 barracks, right? So there's the archer. Red is actually selling food to get gold. I kind of like the decision to make archers. Red moving out with 3 scouts, probably thinking MBL will have nothing over there. And still has to micro the archers, hop into the TC. And even MBL, Mr. Chaos himself, the cockroach as we occasionally call him, he makes a mistake there, and these units are going to die. Great job from Red, great defense. You could see he's mustering up the courage. You could tell he's doing a lot at home, right? Like, he's got to get quick walls down. It looks like he's waiting to get fletching. Again, MBL, he's taking some losses. Like, all things considered, still pretty good for him because he killed the villager and broke through, but now archers are massing. I think here, like, this is really the moment where Red, he's got a small time window to do that damage, and he's still waiting. You can see MBL, he actually added a man-at-arm at home and a spearman. Pretty crazy how much he's got here. Using the blacksmith, he went for the armor. Again, something you rarely see. He went for the attack. Excuse me, something you rarely see for something like man-at-arms. And he is just applying all this pressure. Bill count, though, still pretty close. Red actually has less TC idle time. And I think the damage control has been really impressive, honestly. Like, to use the market to get enough gold for archers is impressive. To then have the scouts running over here is also nice. I think, again, in an ideal world, you get value from the scouts and you kill some stuff. But Red is about to find out in a second that MBL has barracks number 3. And it's like, this game almost feels like something you would see in a Lowy the Legends cast, like lower elo, the like double side base. But it's working at a high level here just because of the start. I mean, it's so crazy. Red, though, finally feeling comfortable enough to get out here to this gold. They fought that army off with a scout, with some villagers. Still trying his best to get kills here as he loops in with the scouts, but MBL spotted him and was kind of waiting for this, let's be honest. Said the archers are starting to clear everything up, and it is 50 population versus 49 population. And you know, you're looking at Red's position right now, and you're like, oh my goodness, MBL's wasting units now. Like, man-at-arms feel like a waste. There's archers out here out of double range. It's about to be triple range. What on earth can MBL do from here? That said, these men-at-arms, now they have the armor, they have the attack. The eco KD's at the bottom left. MBL has taken very little damage this game, and he has now killed 11 villagers. This is after sending villagers forward. He still has the weak villager. And then right as Red's moving forward, he shows up with more. It never ends. And from Red's point of view, great job keeping the scouts alive. You need to get forward now. You need to use the archers to take out the spearmen. You need some type of an answer there. But you also need to keep your eco alive. And you also need to stay on archers because you're seeing man-at-arms. What else could you possibly face? In this range, MBL is making skirmishers. The counters to archers. Does get another Vil pick there. Blue does not know that. And here MBL is actually walled towards the wood line. And this is the first time in a while that the villagers at MBL's base are not going to be feeling too hot. You see the micro from Red. Could have been slightly better, let's be honest. But still pretty good to fall back and take out the infantry. This is at the same time where MBL has more men-at-arms arriving. More skirmishers arriving. It's just non-stop pressure. We're talking skirmishers and man-at-arms in Feudal Age on Arabia these days. We do see a lot of skirms. We do see a lot of man-at-arms. We don't normally see it like this. And, you know, as Red is looking back over here, I'm sure Red's going to see this building and say, oh, geez, he's going to have skirmishers. Red is trying his best to keep these villagers alive, but there is a hole there. The man-at-arm makes it in, and something's going to have to give. A lot has given in this game. And while I think Red put up a really big fight, honestly, an insanely tough fight here, this off-meta game, this chaotic game, as Sun Tzu once said, just worked wonders. And it's just a masterpiece of a game. MBL still, you know, having a few issues over here, you could say. But pretty much all MBL would need is the skirmishers to be in his base. And there's no way the archers can really run in comfortably. Red was running forward here. MBL already had a tower. I mean, it's a great game. If you look at the APM, guys, this is what makes this even more impressive, I would say. APM is actions per minute. The way Capture Rage, which is the program I'm using, gauges it, is off. Like, I don't know, this 309 peak APM, I don't know what happened there, but there's no way that was real. It's probably just like clicking a hotkey or using a scroll wheel. Anyways, in general, though the actual actions per minute we could maybe question, this is a faster player here in Red. This is a faster player. And he did some amazing things. He was in Feudal Age faster. He had a lot of eco out here. He defended for those attacks for so long. But when you are playing high-level Age of Empires, you see the game kind of a certain way, okay? There's a lot of those players out there who like a certain meta. They play, like one thing happens and they know what to do because they've seen it 1,000 times. This is not something we've seen 1,000 times. MBL created chaos, and while I think Red adapted to it all quite well, there was always going to be cracks in the armor against this type of a strategy. As for what you do against it, it's really tricky. I mean, maybe you bring in that Boar, honestly. If MBL didn't have that crazy play with the villager, maybe MBL doesn't get Feudal Age fast enough. Maybe MBL does die. The things that MBL did with these villagers were just insane this game. Both of those villagers had massive impact, and the high-level players are just able to get value where other players cannot. But I wanted to bring this to you. I kind of wanted to break down a little bit. And as I was kind of casting it here, I kind of realized how it was almost too chaotic for me to pause and break down specific moments. Like, I think I could have talked a little bit more about Red's desperation for gold and how awkward it must have felt to be surrounded like this. But Red did get gold, did get enough archers, but every single time those units came out, there was a kill. Now, I want to do more breakdowns. I want to do more specific game scenarios, and I want to talk... I don't know how to describe it, but I guess with more of an analysis mindset, breaking down specific moments instead of just saying this happened and then this happened every single time like I do my normal casts. Let me know in the comments if you guys would like individual moments. I'm still on the fence about this, but obviously this was a full game, and the first two editions of this little breakdown series was also a full game. But I feel like there were beautiful moments that happened that might not have the follow-up. There's maybe a 3 to 5 minute span in a game which stems from a crazy moment, and I can kind of break that down and talk about it and not show the full match. Please let me know if that is of interest to you. If I know my audience, most of you guys are like, yeah, I mean, send it at me. You guys are always hungry for more content, and that's good. But, you know, let me know. I'll read the comments, and I'll get your feedback. I, once again, just want to say, like, thanks for the support, guys. I don't know when this will hit YouTube, but I know that we're very close to 300,000 YouTube subscribers, which is insane. And sub count's always a little tricky on YouTube. Like, there's a lot of dead channels that have 300,000 YouTube subscribers, but the viewership that you guys bring to the channel on a consistent basis is, like, so crazy. Like, it's absolutely unreal. I don't understand it, honestly. I don't believe the numbers. But you people who are listening and watching it out there, and I'm going to keep churning out the content. So thanks for that. Hope you enjoyed this cast. I think in all my years, I mean, I've seen sneak buildings, but I really don't know if I've seen a game that was this chaotic and concise at the same time. It's just an incredible one from MBL. He's a reason why he's one of my favorite players ever in the game. And every time MBL is playing Age of Empires 2, everyone else is better for it. Well, except his opponents, actually. But But yeah, everyone who's watching and the general scene of Age of Empires is usually better for it. I'm not sure if Flo would agree with my comment. Thanks again, guys. I will see you in the next video. Make sure to check out the playlist with the other breakdowns, as I will bring you different, unique situations every single time. And have a good one.